subhanahu wa ta'ala, because he is so busy with this dunya and thinking that he's doing great deal. Thinking that the pleasure and the enjoyment he's having in this dunya, he doesn't want it to end. And the only way, or some of the ways to end, is if you die. If you die. And if you die, that is the only way you meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it reaches the pleasure in his heart of this dunya and the attachment that he doesn't want to even meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He doesn't want to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because he doesn't want to lose this pleasure. So what is worse loss than this? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells those people, then he says, أُولَٰئِكَ مَأْوَاهُمُ النَّارُ بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْسِبُونَ. Such people who think such way, then nar is their haven. That's where they will end up because of what they used to do. ويقول الله سبحانه وتعالى وفرحوا بالحياة الدنيا وما الحياة الدنيا في الآخرة إلا متاع. And they are so excited about the dunya. And they are so happy with what they get. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you, what's in this dunya is just a little bit compared to what's in the akhirah. This whole thing in this dunya, it's a little bit compared to what's in the akhirah. So why you are so happy about this if you know that you can get much more in the akhirah? I mean, the last person, as the Prophet ﷺ said, the last person to enter al-Jannah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give him 10 times as much as a king of this dunya used to have in this life. 10 times. So you look at one of the kings in this dunya and whatever they have, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give the last person to enter al-Jannah 10 times of that. The last person. So imagine about the first person. So be aware of that. يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى قل متاع الدنيا قليل والآخرة خير لمن اتقى. Allah tells the Prophet and tell them that the enjoyment and the pleasures and the treasures in this dunya are very little. And what's in the akhirah is better for those who have taqwa. Because only those who have taqwa will have the akhirah. ويقول الله سبحانه وتعالى زين للذين كفروا الحياة الدنيا ويسخرون من الذين آمنوا. This dunya was made to look beautiful in the eyes of al-kuffar. So if you are so attached to the dunya and you are so much in love of this dunya and you don't want to die and you don't want to meet Allah because you are in so much love in this dunya, then that is one of the characters of the kuffar. Because Allah made this dunya beautiful in their eyes. So be aware of those whom you imitate and whom you look like and behave like. وَالْمَرْءُ مَعْ مَنْ أَحَبَّ. And the person is resurrected with those whom he loves. ويقول الله سبحانه وتعالى فمن الناس من يقول ربنا آتنا في الدنيا وما له في الآخرة من خلاق. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he distinguishes between two kinds of people, he said some of them will say, oh Allah, give us from the dunya. Yani if they wise a little bit, they're asking for the dunya, go for it and ask for something from the akhirah as well. But they are so worried and so concerned about the dunya that he even forgot to ask about the akhirah. And these are in ayat al-hajj. When Allah talks about al-hajj, he mentioned this ayat. And you find some people might go for hajj or go to Baytullah al-Haram, and the dua, the first time you see al-Haram and the Kaaba is mustajab, and he might get busy asking for things from the dunya. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَفَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا. Oh Allah, give us from this dunya. Oh Allah, give me money. Oh Allah, give me this and give me that. And Allah says, and in the akhirah he got nothing. He already has something. Most probably he has something in this dunya. But yet, he's asking for more. And he forgot that he got nothing in the akhirah. Usually you ask for something that you don't have. But if you already have and he just wants more. Okay? So be aware of that. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned this. ويقول الله سبحانه وتعالى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى. You prefer and you love and you put forth the hayat dunya, this dunya. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us the akhirah is better. The akhirah is better. So why you choose the less over the better? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala condemned some people and condemned Bani Israel when Allah gave them the al-man was-salwa, and He gave them food from the food of al-Jannah, and yet they go and they ask for onions and garlic. يعني who's wise? Who wise enough to ask about that? قال أتستبدلون الذي هو أدنى بالذي هو خير. قال ادع لنا ربك يخرج لنا مما تنبت الأرض من بقلها وقثائها وفومها وعدسها وبصلها. They want seeds. And if you look, when we talked about that, he did not make dua. Musa alayhi salam, when they asked him for that, he didn't make dua. But when they asked Isa alayhi salam to bring down food, Bani Israel also, the followers of Isa, he made dua. But for these things are already in the ground, in the dirt. Why are you going to make dua for? قال اهبطوا مصر. Just go down to Egypt. No dua for this. Garlic and onions. Food. ويقول الله سبحانه وتعالى about those who love the dunya, إن هؤلاء يحبون العاجلة ويذرون وراءهم يوما ثقيلا. They love the dunya, and the dunya is al-ajila. Al-ajila is the thing that's happening right now. They love it so much, and they forget about the serious day that they have to live in. They forget about the day of al-hisab. They forget about the day of al-ba'th. They forget when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala orders the angel to blow in the horn. They forget when they come out of their graves. They forget when they have to stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to answer about everything, the little and the big, every single thing. Because they're busy with this dunya. So be aware. ويقول الله سبحانه وتعالى فأما من طغى وآثر الحياة الدنيا فإن الجحيم هي المأوى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, he who rejected the truth and who found the truth. And then what's another description of such person? And wanted الحياة الدنيا. Wanted the dunya. So when the person wants the dunya, will have to reject the truth. Will have to fight the truth. Because the truth from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you to divorce this dunya. So if he wants the dunya, he will fight the truth. And that is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He described the messages of the prophets, He usually says who are the first people to stand up against them? Who knows? The people in charge. The people of power. The people who have money. The people who have authority are the first people to stand against. Who followed the Prophet ﷺ? The poor people. As in the hadith of Abu Sufyan, when he talked to Hiraq. You see, Hiraq heard about the Prophet ﷺ, the emperor of Rome. So he told his soldiers, find me some of those Arabs. So they brought, some of them were doing some business in Sham, and they brought, one of them was Abu Sufyan. And before he was Muslim. So Hiraql started asking him questions to identify if this man who claims to be a prophet is a real prophet. And one of those questions was, who follows him? The rich or the poor? He said the poor. He said, and those are the followers of the prophets. The followers of the prophets are the poor. And after those questions, Hiraql, you see, he did not see your prophet like us. He didn't see him. He didn't meet him. But he said, if I was to see him, I would go down to wash his feet. Iraq, the greatest empire at that time, the Roman Empire. And he believed in the Prophet ﷺ. And he called his batariqa and his advisors and the religious people. And he closed the doors. And he said, I follow. So they started running around and screaming like donkeys. And then when he realized that, he brought them back and he said, I just wanted to test your faith. And he sold the iman for the dunya. And he was afraid. But the point is, that is one of his questions. So usually those who are in positions are the ones who are gonna fight the truth. ويقول الله سبحانه وتعالى to the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم